Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News. Another crazy day in the Valorant world. So much going on right now. We've got the VCT Challengers, of course, in North America. Roster changes going down. Which teams are favoured? Some big names playing later on today. But also Valorant effectively announcing a pseudo franchise system going into 2023. Going to do my best today to explain exactly what that means and how that's going to change the ecosystem going forwards. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'll greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Firstly, a couple of rostermania things. Mad at Lions signed the 10th star team, XMS Brody, Doma, formerly of Fnatic, Cray, and Polvi. That's their new team of 5. We've also got Ascend confirming both Killers and Bone Cold gone from the team. So the World Championship winning roster of not too many months ago, they now officially make the changes. Bone Cold is gone, Killers is gone as well. There's I'm pretty sure a trade going on here with Killers is going over to Giants and Monsters coming the other way with a bit of money. Stuff like that's happening. But yeah, Ascend of course looking to get back on top in the European side, and maybe they'll get involved in the kind of pseudo-franchise ecosystem that is coming going forwards. A new era of Valorant esports is coming in 2023. Today we want to share a preview of our vision for the future of competitive Val. Watch out for more details and info later this year. So they haven't said absolutely everything, but this is what they say so far. A tiered system effectively. Valorant esports in 2023 looks something like the following. Let's start at the bottom here. Deep connection to the in-game competitive experience. This honestly is really cool. I'm not sure exactly what this looks like. They basically say more opportunities for any player to qualify for pro play via a new in-game competitive mode. So not sure what this kind of in-game mode is going to look like, but I've thought it's always really cool when players, like if you're good enough, you can just play the ranked mode effectively, or whatever mode they're going to do on the game itself and qualify for stuff. Like it was the case in Call of Duty back in the day, that if you played the ranked play leaderboards, like and you were at the top of it, you got invited to like some of the qualifiers for the World Championship and stuff like this. So it's not been a thing for quite some time. It's probably a thing in other esports. So Valorant are trying to give that a go. They're also expanding the domestic and the Game Changers leagues to more countries and more regions. But when you get further up, this is now really where like we're talking about some significant changes going into next season. So 3 new leagues. So basically the way it works to qualify for Masters and for Champions now is not going to be these no longer online competition in the different regions, but effectively 3 new major LAN leagues that are going to do on LAN, ideally in front of fans, like for many weeks in a row in the 3 different regions that we'll see here in a second. And effectively the top performers in each of those regions then get to go to the Masters event. So that's pretty crazy. The best teams around the world compete in studio to be crowned champions of their league and to qualify for global events. So I guess it's kind of what happens in League of Legends, right? You have the different regions, then you go to like the major tournaments. This also might mean that like, let's say North America is actually a very strong region and they're kind of partnered up with Brazil in the other regions as well. There's possibility for more than like 1 team or more than 2 teams, let's just say, from North America to go if like, 3 or 4 teams or whatever have to be the best in that entire league. And then of course you've still got the global events, the Masters, the Champions, this type of stuff. So that is their plan. Now just to mention real quick as well, third-party tournaments, they're making a significant return in the off-season. They're kind of allowing tournament organizers to do that once again in force as kind of like a pre-season window where teams test their lineups and fans get a taste of the season to come. The other part of things here is this international league. Now this is really like kind of the key point here. So the regions are explained as follows. North America, Latin America, Brazil will make up a league. Europe, Russia, Turkey, and Middle East and North Africa, I'm guessing that is, will make up a league as well. And we'll have a look at those on a bigger screen actually here in a second, the other one as well. But effectively they're incorporating a long-term partnership model with a select number of teams in each league, ensuring representation of all regions. This will secure a foundation for long-term planning, deep investment in the ecosystem, and more engaging celebrations of fandom. So they've not said whether these leagues are going to have like a relegation type format, right? So that's the thing, like it's going to go into a franchise model. We know that that's their plan. We know that's what they do with League of Legends. That's what other games do. But in League of Legends, for example, you had to pay, I'm pretty sure, 10 mil to have a spot in the league, like a buy-in effectively. They're doing it a very different way this time around. Instead of the teams having to pay Riot to buy into the league, it's actually the other way around. The teams will receive a stipend, is what they say, in exchange for their future investment into the scene. And I'm sure they will choose to partner with some of the teams that kind of, have investment in the ecosystem and this type of stuff, as we will dive into here in a second. So first of all, these are the 3 offline leagues are going to run. North America, Latin America, Brazil, that's the Americas. EMEA is Europe, Turkey, CIS, Middle East and North Africa. And then Asia, Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia, South Asia, and then also Oceania as well. So really cool stuff. As Hastro says from the OpTic side, or like Envy OpTic side, this is exciting. I hope Riot thinks we have what it takes as a great partner team, right? All the organizations, especially the big ones, are going to try and, talk to Riot and say, look, can we be a partner team for your league? Because we want to make sure that we're getting preferential treatment, we get skins in the game, this type of stuff as well. Pretty sure Nadeshot's talked about the possibility of that as well. And I'm sure the 100 Thieves are probably going to be one of the organizations the Riot are looking very closely at to be one of their partner teams. Not sure how many they will have, have. But that is the thing, right? What are these leagues going to be? How many of the teams, like how many of the partner teams are going to make up the league? Is the entire league regional leagues made up of partner teams? Is it like some partner teams and some non-partner teams? Can the partner teams get relegated? Like all these type of discussions are going to be had. And we don't quite know all these details yet. George Gillis does say a few things on this, just kind of like expand on these points. That, we are going to have an international model. There's going to be all these different, the three leagues that we just looked at. And then they say the following: teams will be selected by Riot via an application process that will begin this year. Selection will be based on a track record of building great esports experiences, developing players, and can meaningfully contribute to the long-term growth of Valorant esports. Now, they will give a stipend to these teams, right? Kind of crazy. They don't have to pay Riot to buy into their league, but instead it's actually going to be the other way around, where they actually will pay these teams as a stipend system, contrary to the typical buy-in system, where Riot will provide financial support in order to enter into a partnership where kind of, expectations of long-term investment into the ecosystem, stuff like this. So as yet, we don't know all the details. We don't know how this is going to look, but yes, certainly next season there is going to be something of I think George Gillis was kind of calling it a pseudo-franchise league. It's kind of franchised, it's kind of not franchised, but it's certainly moving in that direction, right? But I think the way they're doing it is probably much better than how many other esports leagues have done a similar thing. Looking at Activision Blizzard, and even looking at what they did with League of Legends, this arguably is taking some steps in the right direction even further than that. Definitely intrigued to your perspective in the comment section below. Let's talk about the VCT that Android kind of frustrating for him. He was on NRG, got dropped for Ethan right before. I believe NRG play later on today. We'll look at a bracket here in a second. But first, we've got to talk about some games that went down. Seems like 100 Thieves, of course, they've been preparing for their games. They scrimmed the Guard last night, and Guard Valen reckons the 100 Thieves is winning absolutely everything. He reckons that they got bodied in scrims. Pretty sure that might have been their first scrim back since Iceland. So that's kind of the thing. Does it actually really matter too much? How good actually are 100 Thieves? But as Derek says, please do not listen to it. It was their first scrim back from Iceland. But Valen basically says, look, it was a pretty brutal beatdown we just got from 100 Thieves in that scrim, right? So who knows? Maybe 100 Thieves are the absolute truth. If Guard are getting smoked by them in scrims, then we'll see how 100 Thieves fare later on today. But they certainly don't have the easiest set of games in terms of the start of their round of 32 qualifiers, with a potential 100 Thieves versus TSM game, I believe, in the round of 16. We'll see that here in just a second. This also just to mention, because Leaf comes out from, of course, from Cloud9 and says these are his top 8 predictions. Ghost, version 1, LG, NRG, 100 Thieves, Nearest Airport, which is a fantastic team name, Knight, and of course Sentinels. Ghost have been looking really good as of late, and they got through no problem at all yesterday into the round of 32. So we'll see if Ghost can make it through this time around. But as Asuna says, thank you, Nathan, for putting us up amongst the gods. And as Valent says, after what we saw today, you guys are in contention to win it all. We've been down so horrendous, he reckons. We needed that so badly. It's kind of interesting from Asuna saying that maybe their scrims the last few days have not been going well at all, and then this good result against the Guard here has given them some confidence going into the matches later on today. This also just sets some baits, of course, in the timeline from Steel, of course, from T1 team in general. Lost for words, 0-2. GG's tough loss. Thanks to all the fans. We shall be back stronger. Not the case. They made it through no problems, as did TSM. Lost 2-0 to Discord Kittens. We're out of the VCT. Next qualifier is ours. But again, not the case. They didn't make it through. 4-0 map count for TSM. They play later on today. This also to mention, right, because Cloud9 White, they also made it through the female team, of course, that's been dominating North America. And they crushed a very solid squad of players like Foe, Calypso, Critical, Hoyan, some really solid players right here. And Mel, as the in-game leader of the team on the kind of perma chamber, goes plus 31, 57 in 26. So she's been an absolute, she's been a dominant force. And it's exciting to see how she will fare and the rest of the team will fare later on today, because I believe they play Gen.G. And who knows, right? Because now they're in the double elimination format, so anything can happen at this point. So this is how the bracket looks. So speaking of Cloud9 White, it's pretty funny actually. So they play Gen.G, and if Girl Kissers beat Luminosity, then it'll be Girl Kissers versus Cloud9 White, if that matchup happens. Rather unlikely, certainly not favourites, but still, that's how the bracket looks. So this is what happened yesterday. Some of these teams, of course, have the bye. 100 Thieves, for example, have the bye. NYFU, that's the kind of former Andbox team, now the New York Fury, they're going to be called. But TSM are here as well. Cosmic Divide, Sentinels have the bye. That's how it looks. If we scroll up, we get to this point of the brackets, where we see what it actually looks like going into today. So these games begin later on this evening. Version 1 are at the upper side of the bracket. They play Zero Latency. If they win that, they play either Complexity or Source. So already there's so many really talented teams in this situation in the round of 32. Ghost Gaming, arguably one of the big favourites for the tourney. If they win this game, they'll probably play up against Evil Geniuses. Knights are here, they'll play up against T1 if they win that game, and T1 beat Moon Raccoons, but also a solid squad. NRG find themselves here against Lenny Time, and then this is the Cloud9 White situation. But yeah, this side of the bracket to me is really spicy, because 100 Thieves do not have the easiest run at all, right? NYFU are not going to be an easy team at all. They've obviously tried to make some roster upgrades recently to the kind of former Andbox squads. If they beat them, they probably play TSM, and if they beat them, they might play, Gen.G, LG, who knows how Cloud9 White quite fair. Like, it could be really interesting. Like, well, this match especially. And then Sentinels, they play Pugstars. If they win that, they either play Accru or BBG. FaZe is down here as well, right, to nearest airport. So, like, you know, there's some really interesting teams in this side of the bracket. But indeed, today is finally the day where we get to see the new Sentinels, the new 100 Thieves, like all these other teams back in action in these online tournaments. And, you know, only 4 teams out of these 32 qualify through the first set. And then there's another one of these qualifiers in a few days on May the 5th, where we effectively go again, and these teams have the second chance. But only 4 of these teams are going to qualify, and then, well, if you don't qualify, the pressure is seriously on, right? So this goes on today, and by the end of tonight, there'll be teams in the upper quarterfinals already, and then, of course, we'll discuss what's going on there tomorrow. But so, yeah, 100 Thieves, they're looking to get the job done. Very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us your YouTube gods, this is a good video, others like you should see it as well, and upgrade the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much, as always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.
80 Jeff
Flash now and drop.
Flash now.
Flash!
Planted.
Flash now.
DC'd, DC'd.
DC'd.
Got one enemy.
What the?
Yes! Whoa! 100 thieves is
We're not losing. We're not losing.
100 thieves.
No, don't do that. My invention.
Torso.
Thank God you guys aren't on our bracket.